everyone, and welcome to today's Vlogmas. It is currently 10:45 in the morning. I'm about to finish up listening to A Study in Drowning. I made another cup of coffee. I have 2 candles on. I have my Christmas lights on, and everything is so nice and comfy and cozy. I even made my bed, as you guys can see, so we really are living cozy today. So yeah, I'm currently, let's see how far into this audiobook I am. I am currently 70% exactly. We love an even number, and I only have an hour and 34 minutes left of this audiobook. So we are gonna finish this today. We're gonna, you know, get on to a new book, and I'm so excited. I don't know what book I'm gonna read next though. I haven't even thought about it, honestly. So we're gonna have to figure that one out once I'm done with this one. Also, I was kind of bummed. I went back on my NetGalley account, and I actually have a really impressive percentage like on my NetGalley account. I'm currently at 100%, which is, I don't know how I did that. I think I only read a couple of arcs or whatever. I think I'd only requested a few arcs and I'd finished all of them, so I think that's why I have 100%. So I requested a few new arcs, and I'm really bummed I got denied for Funny Story by Emily Henry. So I shot a little email over to Berkeley Romance, and I haven't heard back yet, which is kind of unfortunate, but hopefully they'll see my email and like want to give me an arc of Funny Story, because I really want to read it. I am almost positive that I will at least get like an audiobook arc through the Libro FM affiliates, like influencer program, whatever. But I do also want to read it immediately. I don't know. I just think it'd be a lot of fun to read it right now. So that's why I really wanted an e-arc of Funny Story, but the universe had other plans. I did get approved for one e-arc, but I can't remember what it's called. I think it might be like a Beauty and the Beast retelling, contemporary romance. I think there might be fat representation. I can never be quite sure with some of the ways that like the illustrated covers are illustrated. Sometimes the illustration looks like it could be a plus size person, but then it's not. So I don't know. I guess we'll find out when I read it. But yeah, just chilling, have my hair in my little headband. I've been loving these headbands lately. They're so comfortable. It's just kind of nice to have my bangs out of my face every once in a while. So highly recommend these headbands if you also don't like to have your hair in your face. So yeah, just gonna enjoy my coffee, listen to the rest of A Study in Drowning. I keep wanting to say A Study in Charlotte, and if I do say A Study in Charlotte ever, just ignore it. My brain only can hold like one title at a time. So if there's any variation on like A Study in, it's gonna be A Study in Charlotte for me. Anyway, that's enough for me today. Or at least that's enough for me. That's enough for me right now. As you can see, I have my other candle lit. Oh, it's so cozy. I love it. But yeah, I will talk to you guys once I'm done with A Study in Drowning and I figure out what audiobook I want to listen to next. Hopefully something holiday related. Long time no talk. I know, it's been a while. Where do I even begin? Like, I don't even know where I left off. I did want to say thank you guys for letting me take this break. It was super like needed. I don't know why I just felt so overwhelmed with Vlogmas this year. It was just like way more overwhelming than it has been in previous years, and so I do appreciate you guys letting me kind of end it early and not finish it this year, which I feel really bad about, but I just needed a little bit of a break. It was a little bit much, and I think that I should have just started it the way that I was going to start it anyway, like I did last year, where I start vlogging on December 1st instead of trying to get out a vlog on December 1st. I think I just started off on a bad foot and I could never really catch up. So that's kind of what was overwhelming me the entire time. So yeah, poor planning on my part, but I appreciate everybody for sticking around and letting me have this little bit of a break because I needed it. So what are the updates? What have I think the last thing that I did was I was reading A Study in Drowning, which I ended up giving 5 out of 5 stars. I love this book so much. I read one of Ava Reed's books a little bit earlier this year, and it wasn't really my favorite, but then I ended up picking up this one because one of my friends, Jenny, she was so kind to send this to me from my Amazon wish list, and I was like, you know what, this is the perfect time to start this book and give it a shot, and I loved it. It kind of gave me the vibes of like being in like the Irish seaside little town, and it's like rainy and gloomy and you're just reading a book by candlelight. That was the vibe I was getting from this book. I also kind of compared it to Unreal Unearthed by Hosier, his new album. It really gave me those vibes. So if you like that album, you might really love this book. If you have the chance to read it, definitely take that chance. Also, the audiobook is fantastic. So just letting you guys know. I also picked up 2 books when I went to Barnes & Noble because I got some Christmas money and I'm like, you know what, I want to spend it on books. So I ended up picking up this romance book that I'd never heard of before, and that is Play For Me by Libby Hupsher. I'm not really sure how to pronounce her last name. But this one, I noticed that there was a baseball on the cover, and as you guys know, I'm a huge baseball fan, and I'm always trying to be on the lookout for like a baseball romance or like just something that's sort of adjacent to baseball. And basically, this book is about the main character, and she was a trainer for the Red Sox, and she ends up leaving that job and ends up taking an open trainer position at, I believe, an all-boys school, or maybe it's just an arts boarding school. I'm not really sure if it's all boys or not. But when she gets there, the only available room is a glorified closet in an apartment with 3 guys, and it kind of gave me like New Girl vibes, which I love New Girl, and I don't know, there's just something about this cover that really drew me in, and I love this idea of sort of like the sunshine grumpy dynamic. So yeah, really excited to read this book. I read the first page and I really enjoyed it, so hopefully it'll be a new favorite. And the second book that I ended up picking up was One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig, and I've heard so many good things about this book, and I have been dying to read it because I think I'm going to love it. I just immediately had to pick this one up. I knew that I was going to get it. I had picked out like 7 different books and I was gonna choose 2 of them, so I'm kind of glad that these are the 2 that I ended up picking out. And yeah, so these are all the books I got technically for Christmas, 1 from my wish list and 2 that I picked out on my own. So yeah, I ended up having a really good Christmas. It wasn't anything big. I actually ended up going up to Northern California to go visit with my grandpa. So that was a lot of fun, but it's also a little bit stressful, of course, because I just feel like it's been like a lot of traveling and doing stuff in the past couple of months, and it's really taken a toll on me. So we did that. That's actually where I ended up going to Barnes & Noble. We went to the one, I believe, where was it? Was it in Fairfield? Yeah, Fairfield is actually where my mom grew up, so they had a Barnes & Noble there, and it was actually a pretty good Barnes & Noble, I will say. I took a couple of pictures in there as well, so yeah, that was really nice to go visit with my grandpa, and I love going up to Northern California. So I'm trying to think of anything else to update you guys on. I have read a couple of books since I finished A Study in Drowning, so I should probably talk a little bit about those. Not anything too intense because obviously I need to do my wrap up soon, but I ended up reading Monsters, A Fan's Dilemma by Claire Dederer. I'm not really sure how to pronounce her last name. I think it's Dederer, because it was something that I was like, oh, that's not what I would have pronounced it as. I ended up listening to the audiobook for this one on the way back home from Northern California, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I was like, this is a really interesting conversation, and I don't think it's the end-all be-all of this conversation. Basically, it's talking a lot about like what is the morality of the way that we consume art and like the people that make art, and it's just kind of exploring like the things that they've done, and it doesn't really go into like if we should or shouldn't support these people. It's much more of like an exploration of these ideas and these feelings, these really complicated feelings around art. And in my review, I mentioned a quote that really stuck out to me, and that is, "The way you consume art doesn't make you a bad person or a good one. You'll have to find some other way to accomplish that." And I think that that is basically like the thesis of this entire book. I think there are a lot of good conversations that could come out of this book. I think I want to read some more books on this sort of subject and see other people's perspectives, but I do highly recommend this one as kind of like a jumping off point because I think it was really interesting. And the last book that I finished was one that I finished last night, and that was Minor Detail by Adania Shibli, and this is a Palestinian work of fiction, kind of like nonfiction and fiction mixed together, obviously. This has a lot to do with the colonization of Palestine and the violence that has occurred over the decades of occupation. It was definitely a hard read, and it was kind of one of those books where I was like, I desperately wish that I could read this book in its native language, because it's like one of those books that's like, I don't feel like I got everything that I could out of it because it's translated, which is the disappointing part about reading translated works, is that you feel like you're never really getting the real deal. You're getting something that's totally secondhand, and you can never truly experience what the author meant in its native language. So, but I did really enjoy it. I ended up not rating it because I'm like, how do you possibly rate this book? It was really beautifully written, but it was also super devastating and also really disturbing. But I do highly recommend it. It's really short. It's only 112 pages long, so if you can pick it up physically, I totally recommend that. But the audiobook is also very good. Definitely one that you should check out if you are interested in reading about the occupation of Palestine and all of that. So yeah, read a couple of books since we last talked. I'm glad that I'm getting to do this sort of little update and also ending this vlog, because it definitely needs to be ended. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. I know it took forever to get out. I'm so sorry. But hopefully this just means that I kind of can have a bit of a fresh start for 2024 and clean slate. We just need a little bit of a clean slate. So I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog, and I will see you all in 2024. Bye. Ooh, I thought it'd be me and you.